Chad, let's talk about this. First of all, I think that we're gonna get into strength. That's obviously like what you're known for, your calling card, strength, strongman, and all the things that you do. But what I've always had an appreciation for with how you coach is you absolutely understand the athlete. You understand what they need, and you understand how to get an athlete, whether it's a football player, a wrestler, all these different disciplines, into the right positions. And can you just talk a little bit about just coaching speed to a multi-sport athlete as well as a multi-directional athlete?
Well,
Not necessarily sprint speed, but like, because you work with like everyone. So talk a little bit about that.
Really what you're looking at is like, I just remember this distinctly. This is like 30 years ago. It's like, if you've got to move, before you move, you're in the wrong position to start with. So we have to put our athletes in the proper position to start with. So just starting from an athletic stance, and how do we get them in an athletic stance? How do we get them the weight distributed properly on their, into the balls of their feet so they can transfer that power in any direction, but specifically in sprinting? I mean, how can we get them to move forward quickly, and just really looking at that, and then getting them comfortable managing their center of mass. So many kids now, and again, I've done this for a long time, so I got to see it for a long time. More kids nowadays, because they sit so much, they're just so tight in their hips and their glutes and their ankles. We've got to do a lot of mobility work up front in order to get them in a position to be able to move properly, and then teach them mechanically how to do that. Strength is a huge component of it, but the basic movement mechanics, if kids can't move well, they just can't move well. I don't care how much stronger we make them. We can make them stronger. They will get faster to an extent, but their poor movement mechanics will always hinder them and their ability to perform. So I think regardless of the sport, we've got to get kids really mobile, in the sense of we've got to preload that active dynamic warm-up, really teaching them how to move properly, how to get in the right angles, and then really just to work that hip mobility, because all these kids that I see, they're tight. I mean, it's pathetic when I'm 52 and I can get down, up and down off the ground faster than they can, and so we've got to really work on those attributes, because kids just aren't as active. I mean, I love the stats, but, in 1982, the average kid was out playing 3.5 hours a day. In 2010, that was 30 minutes. In 2020, it's projected to be 18 minutes of free play a day. Kids just aren't moving, and then that's why we're starting to see these higher preponderance of injuries, whether that's from non-use or then subsequently then overuse when they're staying in the same movement pattern. So I play basketball 11 months out of the year, where you're doing the same movements time in and time out, and you're just wearing yourself out. So I think it's important that we focus on a good quality warm-up and mobility, and teaching the kids how to move properly before we ever take them to the weight room. So I think that I will never downplay the weight room. I think the weight room is probably one of the most important things we can do, because it effectively changes their self-esteem and self-confidence and empowers them. That will then exacerbate whatever we're doing out on the turf or the pitch or the court, that we're teaching them how to move.